I don't know, man. That's it's pretty big. All right. Welcome back to the Storm Postgame Report. Real people, real people showcased by the fact that we had games I had games take over things to miss the last two. I guess it's a good thing. I think Christian said this on our Storm Coffee Table, Christian? It was a good thing to miss the the Golden State game because of how that went. Uh, that and then taking out a Kelsey Plumless Sparks team, which, good to get the wins out of the way, right? But I'll say this, I get out of the way because I know there's discourse about it, or there probably is on the internet. But even accounting for the fact that there was no Sabrina Ionescu in this game, and what Phoebish is away. No John Quell, of course. This is still the defending champs, as Neko Gumake said post game, right? You still got Stewie, you still got Natasha Cloud. Marina Johannes hit her first seven shots in this game, and the fans behind us were saying she's not gonna miss a. Do I want to use it now? No, she's not gonna miss a shot with an expletive in there. This is still a good team. This is still a very good team, right? Like you were tweeting early in the game, the depth showed. It very much showed. Um, but man, I'll rein it in until we kind of get into it more. But a game like this is very inspiring to me. In a stretch like this, right? Because and I'll get it because I know you got it. Um, but the Storm, what? The Storm are the only team to beat the defending champion New York Liberty and runner-up Minnesota Lynx, right? Like that's a feat in and of itself. But the fact I also added in my thought, right, that you've beat Phoenix, who has the third most wins in the league, twice, right? So we'll get into it. But my guy, your thoughts on this one? Because I don't know, man. I was a little worried early in the season. There's still a lot to be shown, right? We still got who knows winning games to go. But this is a big one. This is a big one. And we saw, some of that metal, some of that intensity that, a team that's going to contend needs. So what did you see from this Sunday afternoon against the Liberty?
Well, afternoon turned night now. It feels like, after the media and other stuff that happens afterwards. But just a really great, full 40-minute performance from the team. First it starts off, well, first off in pregame, coach said that, she doesn't really phase too much by Sabrina Ionescu missing, I think it was a neck injury, if I'm not mistaken. Not really an injury, but like an issue that just caused her to miss the game. John Quill has been out. She's going to be out, I think, I believe it was 4 to 6 weeks. She had a knee injury, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and the only Feedback is away with Germany and Eurobasket. So yeah, down three starters, but that didn't really matter much in the first quarter, considering when you have Rebecca Gardner, Chicago Scott legend, and Nia Sadly combining for 9 of New York's first 11 points. Just to the fact that the depth really showed, just in general, considering in the first half or the first quarter, the rest of the team besides Natasha Cloud and Brianna Stewart had 18 points on 7 for 16 shooting, and they only had 4 points. So that really just shows, again, the depth of, how that team started the game. But then again, I understand they are the champions, and depth, is great, and they have a lot of it. But Seattle was fully healthy, and they've been playing arguably the best basketball in the league for the last 10 such games. After this game, winners of 6 of their last 7. They've had 3 6-game win streaks, most in the league, and all of their wins have come again on these win streaks. So that's another interesting wrinkle of how this team has played so far. Um, you know, Again, just in general, the ability to turn it on and off when they need to. Skylar with the 12-point quarter, NECA in the third, and then NECA with the 13-point quarter in the fourth. It was kind of back and forth, especially after that Brianna Stewart's tactical swing. I think that was in the fourth, with that 3-point swing. And it was like, okay, then it was, I think, Natasha Class scored a bucket, and it was a 5-point run. And it's like, okay, New York is kind of right back in this. But NECA with the three, and then just the clutch defense from really everyone. Sharing the basketball, just true team play. You see that. It doesn't really matter what Gabby Williams is doing on the court, whether she's shooting well or not, she's gonna her impact is gonna be felt. Like especially today, she had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals. Only had 2 turnovers, I believe. Back-to-back double doubles after having her first of her career last game against the Aces. Done it with assists now. Almost did it with steals a couple games ago. So she's really playing at an all-star again, all-star level, all defensive level, B-point level, MIP level. Will she win all of these? Probably not. But then again, her name deserves to be in all of these categories. You know, she is right there. She's a steals leader at 2.5. It's probably up now, considering she had 4 tonight. So we're gonna see what that's looking like in a second. But yeah, she's just playing multiple back again, 26 games, up 26-point games. She's been playing unbelievable. Skylar Diggins, just total for 19 points at that 1 point again at the third quarter with the 12. Just being herself. Erica Wheeler, again, the best training camp contract that they could find on the roster. She had a really great game. She finished, I think it was around 4 for 13. But again, filling the stat sheet, great defense, timely passing, and that's kind of what you expect from her.
Hey man, I mean, this is, we talked about it after I think I texted Christian this. I was like, might have been late in the fourth quarter. I was like, we're getting the Chuck Charles that was, you know, post game links because we'll get into the like factual information and the player on the court type of thing. But like again, you have to be here to experience what this building can be like. And it was the Storm announced it was a sellout. I mean, there were folks all around here and all the seats that aren't like the covered 300 level. It was packed. It was loud. Gabby, oh, that's why I was thinking about the Minnesota game as well. Because right, post game, Erica Wheeler very emotional, talking about how the fans, talked about, of course, the opportunity that she's gotten, the belief that this team has instilled in her and her abilities, right? Um, but also talking about this crowd feeding her, right? Gabby Williams talked about it. I think Skylar said it post game, but Gabby's tough on herself. She was a few times because Gabby didn't have the most efficient game, but she didn't. I'm going to use it now. She didn't fucking need to have the most efficient game with how she was playing, right? I mean, I think I tweeted about it, but it's like you can see that Gabby Williams can do anything on the court that you need her to. The French Army knife nickname is not something that is thrown around, without reason. But Gabby mentioned, on top of joking, that she accidentally stepped on the ankle of our friend and lead photographer, Liv Lyons. Liv's fine. I think day to day. We'll reevaluate in a week. Um, that the crowd kept keeping her up because despite the missed shots, the crowd would keep her in it. So, yeah, let's talk about Gabby Williams. Like, what can she not do on a basketball court? You answer me that because she can score again, not the most efficient night. I don't give a shit. Like like how much purpose she had driving to the rim, uh, uh, in this one against New York. Hit the 1-3. We know how her 3-point numbers have been, right? Did get She joked about it. I don't know if you were able to see it, my friend, but she joked. She's like, I got 4 free throws tonight. Um, the 6 boards, 10 assists. I think 10 assists is a career high in the game for her. And then the 4 steals. Like, it was also funny, and I promise I'll let you get to this. I'll stop speaking in a second. But our friend of CSS, Bella Munson, asked, was basically trying to get an answer out of Skylar and NECA about Gabby Williams and her success. Because, like we can write it, you and I can write it, right? But it matters more if we get the quotes from these players, right? We get them to wax poetic about their teammates. Um, and Skylar was like, it feels like every game y'all are asking us about Gabby. And I was like, well, I mean, with how she's playing, right? And both NECA and Gabby were kind of, sorry, NECA and Skylar were kind of like, we don't need to give a pitch on why she should be an all-star. We don't need to give a pitch on why she should be defensive player of the year. Like the numbers don't lie. So, I mean, I think that's a fair assumption, a fair assessment. But particularly in this game, can you speak to Gabby and Gabby's impact? Because It's, we are we are watching a very special basketball player. We've known that, but just seeing her take it to another gear this year is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, first of all, off rip, Gabby Williams is one of, if not the best screen navigator at the wing position in the league right now.
Mm,
She's been doing this for a long time, but now she's doing it more consistently, in a environment that is hospitable to it. This is what you're
mm,
seeing from, again, an international superstar, a multi-time champion, multi-time league MVP overseas that is now budding before our eyes in the WNBA because she's given the opportunity to. I think James Wade would, think twice about the decision that he made a couple of years ago, as far as kind of just not being openly truthful as far as the entire reason of why the Sky decided to suspend Gabby Williams' contract. Then again, she is budding and growing as a player in every way on and off the court with Seattle now. So yes, arguably probably for the best because she's in this position and where she is, playing the best basketball of her life that she is right now on both sides of the floor. Again, doesn't really matter that she shot. What was it again? Was it 3 for 12? I believe.
there
Uh,
was a four in there, four for
four
16.
4 for 16. Yeah, don't really care because you know why? Again, she's arguably one of the best, if not the best, wing defender in the league. 2.5 steals. Pretty sure it's going to go up in a little bit, but also just again the overwhelming pressure that she applies to ball handlers, her size, her length, the way that she utilizes it is not the way that people expect. It's kind of a very fine, you know, kind of well-tuned approach, but it's also very aggressive in a way that catch people off guard. You know, the speed, the hand-eye coordination of which she plays, especially when she's on a ball handler, is otherworldly. Something that probably we haven't seen in a while like this, especially at this rate that she's been doing it consistently. But that's another word that you're going to hear a lot consistently because that's what the Gabby Williams is on both sides of the floor. Her court vision, what she sees before it happens, the way she kind of telegraphs passes for the teammates, but kind of keeps it away from the defender. That is a skill
Mm.
that is, just not really treasured as much as it should be these days. Again, she's one of the best paint passers on this team, and you saw that a lot in this game.
Yeah, yeah, that is a great point, my friend, because yeah, there were so many instances where that happened, and I was like, again, what can this woman not do on a basketball court? Like I got no answer for that question. Um,
She can't call fouls for herself. She can't do that.
hey, there you go. There we go. We've got one. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I sent into our group chat. I was like, she takes a lot of punishment because even I know we talked about this on our some coffee table, right? But even in this game, just seeing some of the stuff that was called and or not called, I was just like, "Ah, you're doing a disservice to your players with stuff like this. Um, you know, So yeah, that and the big one, the quote that our followers on the Twitter are really enjoying is Gabby in her walk-off interview talked about how, you know, she had a great quote, mentioned that was the quote about uh, you know, crowd kind of picking her up, but she mentioned I'll get it here. I remember I'm so happy I'm in Seattle. And I mean that's been evident that she loves it here, with re-signing here consistently, right? Because I mean if she didn't want to be here, I feel like she could have decided to leave at an earlier point. So, um, got to go back to the two, the two. How do I put this? Because there are so many ways you can describe these two future Hall of Famers, but just watching Skylar Diggins and Nneka Ogwumike play for this Storm team is not something I ever thought would happen. But it's pretty remarkable. Like you mentioned, NECA 12 for 17 in this game, 7 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 total stocks if we're going with that. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell is it? I'm a bit slow. People know that. But it's like you
What a
look at this.
stock.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
what
so
are you
like
guys talking about?
if a player has like one steal, one block, I just say
Yeah.
two stocks. But if it's
Yeah.
like 2 and 1 or three or something else, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? I had to figure that out. Um, But I mean, you look at this, like we were talking about it earlier in the season, NECA being an MVP candidate. I mean, I like the way ESPN does this, where you look at the schedule because it has a high in points, high in rebounds, high in assists, right? And the amount of times I see the name of Gumake here is ridiculous. I mean, leading you what in three, four, five, six, seven times your leading scorer. I don't it's her and Ezzy in terms of the leading rebounders, like it is remarkable to see her, and she should be. That was the problem I was having thinking about Gabby, right? Is because I mean, you think about true value, right? She played 38 36 minutes in this game, right? You take Gabby Williams off this team, I mean, how much more do Skylar and NECA need to do? So that goes in most valuable category, right? Which is tough because you also could make the very good case for a NECA Agumake, and say, you could make a case for three players on this Storm team. There are cases to be made for all three of them for that conversation. They should all be all stars, you know. Um, yeah, man. I mean, the your two,
Is this the most valuable team?
mm, yeah, because I mean, again, like how much
I don't
how
know if this
many
is gonna pick this up, but can you see that? You can't see that, can you?
kind I can tell it's a tweet.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Danny Stark. He said, "Are they the best team in the WNBA?" I can't say, but yes, you're the only
I
team to
mean,
beat the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. I don't care whether they're fully healthy or not. I mean, the
they're still
game was
good
still
teams.
close. New York had it the entire way. You
Yep.
know, we can't you can't really use excuses considering we didn't know Sabrina wasn't going to play until what 20 minutes before the game, really.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
a
So
win a win is a win, man.
yeah, this is still a interesting. This is still, very good, these are still professionals. They show up just like the rest of the team does, right? But yeah, no, I had to I know you saw it, and I don't know if you were gonna get it whenever we get the post game, but hearing Skylar Diggins talk about NECA, right, and how much those two matter to each other, right? Talking about that bond. If it's up, I'll do it, but I like to get these post game reports out quick, right? Um, but I'll check now while we're doing this, just in case. But hearing how important it was, like Skylar got pretty emotional talking about um nope,
Yeah.
that's yesterday's, right? Like
I'm on a tab
that's
already. I got like you can save a tab to your home screen. Like it's an
mm,
app. Yeah, I got that
oh,
for
oh
the
yeah. You got it saved.
I have to, man. I need to get access to stuff quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I
in
hear you.
there. 7 minutes ago. Let me clip it.
Nice. Okay, so I'll get that and I'll edit it in.
Yeah, not me. I tell her every day. I tell her behind the scenes. I tell her in the training room. I tell her in the weight room. I tell her when she's doing Pilates. I tell her when she's on the court. I tell her on the walking into the gym. I tell her when I see her at work, at the house. I came here to play with NECA. And like what she does, day in and day out, it's special. And you shouldn't take it for granted. Like I love her. And it's deeper than just basketball. Who she is as a person is solid, and it's a lot of stuff she can't say to defend herself, and it's a lot of shit that she takes on for our whole league. And so, I stand in front of NECA every day, and nobody around this league should take what she does for granted. I mean, she looks like she is still in her prime and continuing to get better and better. And I'm inspired by her personally, professionally. She's a way better woman than me. But I look up to her, and not only what she does on the floor, it's how she carries herself and how she makes us have a standard to ourselves with her experience. She's a champion. She's the most disrespected MVP in the history of our league. And every night, she's breaking records. And not just, it's milestones. Passing Tina Thompson today, eighth all-time in rebounds. Excuse me if I got that wrong, but it's amazing what she's done, and we celebrate her every day. It's a blessing to be on this team with her, and she's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Dang, that's not the last
Love you,
question.
girl.
God damn, I love
You know I love you, girl. I don't give a damn about this people here.
So folks can see what we're talking about. But that's pretty remarkable, man. I mean, that's so cool to hear, right? When you again got two future Hall of Famers talking about each other like this, and it's like it's just and not that it's a shock, but to have those two talk about each other like that and to recognize the greatness that is taking place. I mean, you can go to the Storm PR page. It's a lot of Gabby Williams, understandably, and see what second block of the game against New York. Nneka Ogwumike reached 250 career blocks, fourth player in WNBA history to record at least 600 steals and 250 blocks. Like, uh, you and I joked about it earlier season, but it's like every single game, Nneka Ogwumike does something. She had 13 points in the fourth quarter and was 6 of 7 from the field. Uh, I wish I could find it, but I tweeted it too. I was like, we got to get the clip from last year where I don't remember who it was, but they called her Big Shot Neck or Big Shot Necka because 13 points in the fourth. As you mentioned, New York was in it until the end. Um, I can find it, but the other NECA stats. But yeah, I mean, it is. I text you this all the time. Well, not all the time, but I've done it consistently since we've been doing this together, right? That it is a treat to watch Nneka Ogwumike play basketball in Storm Green because, I mean, my God, and I'll give Skylar her credit, right? Skylar is a dog today. I mean, there were some folks talking about Natasha Cloud. I love Natasha Cloud basketball. Don't get me wrong, especially, not just basketball, but the person that Natasha Cloud is, right? Um, Skylar, you know, Skylar was pretty clearly the better player in this game. I mean, not to disparage one player, because shit happens, right? But Skylar got hers, so to say, right? And just like the fearlessness of this team, man. I mean, they're not a. I think we talked about this in the coffee table. Yeah, with the fouls. This is not a Storm team that's afraid to get in the paint. Obviously, they're not. They're a high points in the paint team. But, to see your point guard who's, what is Skylar, 5'9"? Like, have like reckless abandon and throw it out the window. Like, I wonder how much Jade Melvin might have taken that a little bit from Skylar before she left, right? Because again, I would tell you this, I think last year where I wrote about it, like every time we talk to Jade after practice, uh she's got like another bruise. I'm like, God damn. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about those two because I mean what, NECA 34 minutes. Skylar 35 minutes in this stage of their careers, right? Like that is pretty remarkable. I know I've eaten a bunch of words here. But do you have anything else to add about number three or number four?
Yeah, just in general, honestly, the way that they have approached basketball while being in Seattle, but especially again this year, um, as all respect to Ezzy McElroy, but this has been more of a duo than it has been a trio this season. She does a lot on the defensive end, and that's I'm not discounting any of that. But as far as true star power when you need it and reliability, especially on the offensive end, that it's been a three-headed monster with Gabby Williams more times than not this season. So honestly, all three of them world class at everything that they do. Skylar again, the head of the snake. Not really going to pit them against each other because then again, they both combined for was it 23 points in the second half. Skylar had the 12-point third quarter and that got the 13-point fourth quarter. That's the kind of the great thing about having a three-card garage. One goes down, guess what? You got two more to
Mm.
go. One not really working. It's cool. You still got one. It don't matter. You still got three. You
Yeah.
you, you have the means to stay in the ship, and that's all that matters.
You mentioned Ezzy, and we'll transition over here. It's undeniably tough to see, her continue to struggle offensively, right? Just 6 points, 2 for 9 shooting, missed the one 3-pointer she took, got to the line, hit 2 free throws, but still 8 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block. That's tough. I think you and I know that. That's clear, right? We've said it. It's acknowledged. And there's sure there's concern for it, of course, but Again, the defensive game that she played, whether it was the actual boards that she brought down, 5-0 boards for Izzy was big. Get those second chances more than anyone else in this game. Um, but that like we hear all the time from the Storm about deflections, right? They track deflections, stuff like that. Um, you know, like I see it from Ezzy, man. I mean, I do. Like Noel Quinn so often has pointed to the things not offensively or the things not on the scoreboard. And watching it from my seat over there, I see it. I've seen Ezzy Mabagor play for her entire career. In the last four in person here is press, right? So like I get it. We all know what Ezzy can be offensively, but again, I will go back to it and I will stand on that the impact that she's making off the ball. Yeah. Defensively, whatever you may have is huge. And I tweeted about it as like you've got these three, and you would talk about I forgot who you mentioned, but someone's like, is this the most valuable team? You've got those three players. You talk about the three car garage, right? You've got Erica Wheeler having what, if this continues, her best season, right? Um, and Ezzy Magbagor hasn't clicked as a like whole yet. Like Skylar was asked if they feel like they can hit another gear. Like she gave a good answer, talked about it, but I would say hell yes they can because you get more out of Ezzy offensively. Like then what are you like, how do you defend this team? You know what I'm saying? Like in the paint, they're hitting threes this fucking year. Like as you mentioned, I think in our Storm Coffee table, they're at the top in general field goal percentage. Um, how do you guard them? I mean, and so now, did you have anything else on Izzy before I move to the bench?
Now that's pretty ish, man. Much, man.
Okay.
She's a great defender that clearly showed in
Yeah.
this game, especially made Stewie uncomfortable on the game long.
That was something I was thinking about too. I was like looking at Stewie's 18. I'm like, you're 6 for 8, 6 for 14 on 18 though. And seven of those come from the charity stripe. So, um, mm, mm, mm. Christian will know it because he heard it. But I kind of bungled a question to Coach Quinn pregame. I was trying to ask about the bench because you got 88 points from your starters and the Aces win, um, which is great. We talked about this starting unit, but I'm just kind of wondering with the bench because again, I mean, I'm mainly looking at AC kind of had a bad game offensively in that one. I think she's 0 for 4. I realize she does stuff that doesn't go on the stat sheet, and her his defensive play is big. But I mean, I know during media day she mentioned that it was asked of her to do more offensively this year for Seattle. She hasn't really done that, right? Dominique had some nice oh, I didn't realize she only played 7 minutes. It felt like more. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. The French phenom continues to add little things here and there. Like she'll do it. Lexi Brown, what are we doing? 6 minutes, 1 point. 1 rebound, 2 assists. Like, sure. I think I did see a Storm PR tweet that was like Lexi Brown totaled 2 assists. That's her like tied for her season high. I'm like, no shit, dude. Like um Zaya Cook gave you good minutes. I was I wish I could go back in time and not be so hard on the Zaya Cook decision. Because I've really liked the minutes that she has played this season. We can be wrong. We're gonna be wrong in our job, right? Um, I am curious because Lexi came in of the bench guards, right? First. And I'm like, why are we giving Lexi these minutes when Zaya's been playing better? You know what I mean? Like, I would just give Zaya those minutes. Like, it just hasn't worked for Lexi Brown here in Seattle. We've still got a good chunk of the season to go, so maybe things change. But at this point, I'm just giving Zaya those minutes. Like, I'm fine cutting the rotation down. Anyway, all that to say, happy with what you got from the bench in this one largely. I thought AC's defensive intensity was good. Had a steal here, but I think if we're going back to the deflections thing, she had some of those. Was happy with the Dom minutes. It was interesting to see her matched up against Stewie. I mean, you want to talk about past and future the Storm right there. Like that was pretty fun to watch. Um, Yeah, Zaya Cook came in, hit a big three. Um, oh, and she had a block. That's right. Zaya Cook block. Did not have that on my bingo card. So, um, yeah, anything on the bench? Oh, I was just asking if you had anything on the bench.
Yeah, this isn't the, Lexi Brown Hay Club. It's not at all. It's just the fact that Seattle is winning without her production, you know,
Yeah.
here or there. So not really worried about it too much, considering when you have Zaya Cook coming into the game and giving you great possessions on both ends of the floor. You have Erica Wheeler still being Erica Wheeler. You have Alicia Clark playing great defense and being a connective passer. It's not really that big of an issue, but at some point you wonder if it will, if there's a team
Mm,
that will make them feel that more consistently. But to be honest, in Seattle's 5 losses now, I can't really say Lexi Brown producing or not producing has been a factor in a win or a loss. So it's not like, it's well that sounds pretty bad, but I mean that's just the truth. So
yeah. So, yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. I mean, your bench can get tested at any point. So yeah, God, it is what is the one team that they've not beaten in the top four is Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, I don't know. Do you have anything that you think we should touch that I know I've been talking a lot on this one. Is there anything that you think we haven't addressed yet that should be said? Because again, no, like at the end of the day, these are the defending champs. Like this is a big win for Seattle, and it had that big game feel. So I think it is important to kind of look at these things because, who knows what a matchup like this might mean down the line. Again, long time to go. But yeah, anything that we haven't touched on that you think might be that should be brought up?
I mean, other than the fact that this team is so much better than everyone gave it credit for, I kind of saw the tea leaves. I read the tea leaves, so to speak, about what this team could be. And I always said part of that is going to come from Erica Wheeler being in the starting lineup. I said that from day one. When Alicia Clark was in first day announced starter, I wasn't against it, but I just knew that for this team to be where it needs to be, as far as on really both ends of the floor, from what I've seen from Erica Wheeler in her career, I've been around the block. I watched Erica Wheeler besides her Indiana days. I know the player that she can be, especially with the right system around her. That's what she's been game in, game out. She's been really a huge part of this. Dominique Malonga coming in and giving them plus minutes and everything that she's doing, scoring, rebounding about as many minutes as she's playing consistently. That is a huge part of all of this too. Alicia Clark, again, timely defense, her ability as a small kind of hybrid power forward, it gives Seattle really a great ability to go small, at least on the defensive end. I mean, she's still shooting around 40 something percent from three this year. I can't remember how many attempts she take. I know it's not more than three, but this team is deep and experienced exactly where it needs to be. It's crazy to say that considering Mackenzie Holmes hasn't played. I don't think she's played at all since she's gotten here. So yeah, saying that without Jordan Horson, without Katie Lou Samuelson, it's crazy to think what this thing would be. You know?
No, I mean again, stuff like that is why again, so often I am the hopeful one when we do our shows, and that's pained me and with several of our teams around here, right? But Storm have won 4 titles. I'm looking at that banner right now. Um,
Should be 4 separate banners, but hey.
yeah, don't get me started.
We should really raise it as an issue with them. I'm like, hey, it's not that expensive. Come on.
It shouldn't. Yeah, fucking Lakers have like goddamn. Ah, mm, ah, that could be
Bump
a whole other show.
bump the Lakers.
Yeah, no. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, just the way that your team performed today, you got a little bit of something from everybody. Even Lexi with the 1 point. Um, the crowd was great. It was a great showing here. So loud. I mean, again, like stuff like this is special, and it makes you think about playoff basketball. I haven't. excuse me, had playoff basketball here since 22 because again, last year they didn't have a home game. So, you know, it is a special place, man. So, I don't know, stuff like this, it's foundational blocks, right? Minnesota is a big block. This should be a big block. So, it'll be big. I mean, as we continue this stretch here, we got what little, let me pull it back up. I had it here. 3-game homestand here. You got Indiana coming in on Tuesday on NBA TV, 7 o'clock. We're back to normal start times. My body is like wired for 7 o'clock. 4 o'clock felt weird today. I mean, Seattle's won 6 of the last 7. They beat Phoenix, Minnesota, Las Vegas, and New York in that stretch.
Only team to do that.
That's crazy, man. Right? I mean, you wondered a little bit about Phoenix coming into the year, but look what they've become, right? And what they are and how it's all working, right? I mean, Vegas is kind of like Asia and Jackie, and they still got great players. Minnesota's Minnesota. Like what? They've only lost the one time, and it was Seattle. Yep. Jesus Christ. Um, Golden State's got some punch. So that game, I mean, it's disappointing, of course, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. So no, yeah, nice little interesting stretch here. You play Indiana on Tuesday. You got a couple days before Connecticut, scrappy Connecticut team. 2-11. Scrappy. What are the other buzzwords for a team that's not doing so well? They got Marina Mabry. I know that. Oh, and Tina Charles, Storm legend Tina Charles. So yeah, man. Anything, my friend, do you think that needs to be said before we get on up out of here?
I think that's pretty much it, man. We're good for tonight.
It was a good one. Yeah, good win, fun day. So yeah, man. Till we see you Tuesday night. Yeah, I don't know if we'll maybe. Oh no, we've only got the one day. I forgot it's Sunday. My brain thinks there's several days before Tuesday. Till we see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Do whatever you can to make today a great day.